All right, hello there. Welcome back for Star Trek Rewatch. Do this every Thursday, and we have reached Turnabout Intruder, the final episode of season 3 and the end of Star Trek the original series. As always, I'll read from the Star Trek Compendium by Alan Asherman. Do my episode wrap up, the series wrap up, and then talk about plans for what's next as far as this Star Trek rewatch goes forward, because all we really have left is the movies, or are the movies, I should say. So here we go. Turnabout Intruder. The writer for this was Archer H. Singer, with the story by Gene Roddenberry. The director was Herb Wallerstein. Stardate 5298.5. Dr. Janice Lester, once romantically involved with James Kirk, hates the captain because she was unable and unfit to become a starship commander. So what makes a woman unfit to be a captain of a vessel is because she's a woman. Okay, it was the 1960s when this came out. Okay, so maybe this episode hasn't aged all that well, but there you have it. Women cannot be captains of starships. Let's see here. She lures Kirk to planet Camus 2, where she's discovered an alien mechanism capable of transferring minds between bodies. Using the device, Dr. Lester transfers her consciousness into Captain Kirk's body, trapping his mind in hers. Dr. Coleman, Janice's current lover and partner, makes sure that Kirk's mind is kept sedated. But Spock becomes suspicious and, using a Vulcan mind meld, determines that Captain Kirk's mind is trapped in Dr. Lester's body. Janice, using Kirk's body, initiates court-martial proceedings against Spock and all who believe that the captain's mind is not where it belongs. But she's unable to control her emotions, and during the proceedings loses her temper, arousing the suspicions of other crew members. When Kirk charges McCoy and Scotty, the fake Kirk, that is, Janice Lester in Kirk's body, charges McCoy and Scotty with mutiny and imposes the death penalty, the entire crew knows something is seriously wrong. There's a lot of series callbacks on this one, okay? Sulu and Chekhov are like, hey, you can't impose a death penalty. That's not allowed, except for under, General Order 4, which is for visiting the planet of, Talos, right? The episode that we saw in the cage and in the Menagerie Part 1 and 2. That is the only planet where if you visit that planet, Starfleet will kill you. That's the only use of the death penalty, at least established in this universe. There's also several other callbacks where the Janice Lester, her body, Kirk is trapped in her body, is reminding Spock of rescuing Kirk in the Tholian web. I think there was another episode callback as well, which is kind of a rarity for the original series. They don't do a whole lot of episode callbacks, but this one is kind of loaded with them, which kind of interesting. All the banter between Spock and McCoy relating to Kirk's mental status, and between McCoy and Scotty, and even between Chekhov and Sulu, was really great stuff. We see some passive resistance where they just refuse to man the controls of the spaceship. Sulu just stops piloting and just ignores the irate Captain Kirk's orders. And Chekhov tags along with him. So I thought all the crew behavior, the way that they reacted to the situation of Captain Kirk's erratic behavior, was really great stuff. Let's see here. Kirk, with Spock's telepathic assistance, is able to reverse the effects of the mind transfer. Janice, trapped again in her own body, is unable to bear her frustration and collapses. So that's really it. Here's a part where Dr. Lester and Kirk's body is going to strangle Janice, or Kirk, I should say. Kill her body so that her soul or spirit or mind remains trapped in his. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Not a great episode. Overall, it wasn't as bad as I remembered. I haven't watched this episode in a long time. I tend to avoid it. But it wasn't, while it's not great, it's not like terrible either. It's just, I think the bummer of this episode and why people are so down on it is because it's the last episode. The series is canceled. This was the last episode of Star Trek that aired. And really, it's not the best. You know, maybe if they would have flip flopped the order of last week's episode and this one, last week's episode was kind of a banger. It was really good. And maybe you should have gone out on that. Or maybe they should have held the Enterprise incident, which I think was like season or episode 2 of this season. The one where the Romulan secret mission to steal a cloaking device. That would have been a good one to go out on. But it's just because this is where we ended the series. And it's just kind of a downer of an ending. Overall, episode's okay. I like the crew reactions. Shatner really hams it up, acting, as an irate woman. It's just kind of funny. There's a part where he's like filing his nails and stuff. But yeah, not Star Trek's finest moment. But anyways, that's it. I don't have a whole lot to say. Your thoughts on this one below. Now, after Star Trek was canceled, they did do a animated series, which here's a cell from the show. Okay, this was done by Funimation, and I do have this on Blu-ray, but I don't really plan on watching it, okay? Like, doing a review of all the episodes. Originally, I was going to, but I'm just kind of tired, kind of like run down from doing these every week. So I will just give you kind of a like must-watch episode of the animated series. The one episode in the entire series run of the animated series that if you're going to watch it, if you're only going to watch one episode, watch this one, which is Yesteryear. All right? Why is Yesteryear so good? Well, the script for that episode was written by DC Fontana. It's a Spock-centric episode. And by the way, William Shatner came back to voice Kirk. Leonard Nimoy came back to voice Spock. All of the voice actors, or all the actors from the show, came back to reprise their parts for the animated series, with the exception of Walter Koenig. So Chekhov does not appear in the animated series. Instead, they got this alien-looking dude, and I can't remember his name, but he looks more like a Star Wars character than a Star Trek character. And one of the pluses of being animated is that they can make some really weird aliens. They can do stuff with animation that you just couldn't do with live action. But it is a kid's show, and the running time for every episode is a half hour rather than a full hour in length. So the episodes fly by like that. It only lasted 2 seasons. There's an episode where Harry Mudd comes back, which is called Mudd's Passion. But overall, the series, while it's good, I would say that Yesteryear is the best. Okay? Yesteryear is the absolute best episode. Where I'll just read the synopsis for that one real quick. Federation personnel, including Kirk and Spock, explored the planet Orion's past using the Guardian of Forever. When they return, no one recognizes Mr. Spock. For the past 5 years, the Enterprise's first officer has been an Andorian named Thelen. Ship's records reveal that Sarek and Amanda's son was killed at the age of 7. So Spock died at the age of 7. So they by traveling through the Guardian of Forever, they messed something up, and Spock dies as a kid. So Spock has to go back through the Guardian of Forever to fix whatever he messed up. So we get a little bit of like Marty McFly Back to the Future thing going on here with Spock, which is really cool. Spock realizes that he has to return through the Guardian and rectify the disordered timeline. Pretty awesome. So, great episode. That's the one episode of the original of the animated series. I'd say watch that one. It's a must-watch. The rest of them, they're good. I enjoy them, but they are geared more towards children. And I do believe that the animated series won an an Emmy Award for children's programming. So all we really have left are the movies going forward. Okay, the feature films, which there are 6 of them. So Star Trek the Motion Picture, right? We'll just do the crew. There's a little bit in this book about, you know, the feature films and whatnot, but I don't know how much of this I'll actually use. There's a crew photo, right? This was with producer Harv Bennett, okay, right here, who was involved heavily with the feature films. But we're going to go through these, and the plan going forward is I'll probably do one film a month, and that means we'll be wrapping up watching these. This is probably do this one in April, okay, Star Trek The Motion Picture. I have the director's edition. I actually have both editions of this film, but this is the director's edition. So I'll be watching this in April. Then in May, we'll do Wrath of Khan. In June, we will do The Search for Spock. In July, we'll do Star Trek 4. Okay, the Voyage Home. Then the next month, we will be doing The Final Frontier, Star Trek 5, the one directed by Shatner that's a disaster. And then finally, we will be wrapping up with Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. So the goal is to do one of these films at the beginning of the month or sometime during the month. I'm going to try to do them the first week of the month. And then once we finish the feature films, I think I'm going to wrap the Star Trek series up and call it a day. I don't really plan on going forward and watching Star Trek The Next Generation or Deep Space Nine or Voyager or Star Trek Enterprise. Just because this process of doing weekly watch and reviews is kind of taking a toll on me. When I did the short series The Prisoner with Patrick McGowan, that was easy because it was only like 17 episodes, but this was extensive, and just I'm kind of tired. And you know, because I'm so low effort on this, I'm not cutting in clips of the show or still images or anything. It just doesn't have a lot of appeal. It's basically just this middle-aged, you know, Gen X rando dude on the internet giving you my thoughts and feelings on the episodes. And for a lot of people, that's just really boring. And hey, it is what it is. So, anywho, thank you for coming along on this journey of watching Star Trek with me. And for those of you going to stick around and watch the feature films, we'll be starting with Star Trek The Motion Picture. Probably going to kick that off right at the beginning of April. First week in April. We'll keep it on Thursday, like I have been doing. Okay, so we'll keep the Star Trek Rewatch on Thursday. We got the 6 films, and that's going to be a wrap. So, as always, thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.